December 18th, 2006, a day no one in New England will ever forget. On that day, viewers tuned in to the last broadcast of the 10 o'clock news on WLVI Channel 56, branded at the time as Boston's CW and prior Boston's WB. The day after, viewers were greeted to then anchors Matt Lorch and Francis Rivera, welcoming viewers to 7 News at 10, what transpired, and why did this station go downhill fast. Our story began on December 18, 1966, when Kaiser Broadcasting and the Boston Globe newspaper formed a partnership to launch WKBG-TV, operating on Channel 56.
Good evening. I'm Jim Lina, WKBG-TV General Manager. Welcome to our inaugural program. For the next 30 minutes, you're going to see how a TV station is born. Our program will be divided into 3 parts. First, you'll meet some of the dignitaries who wish us well. Then Ed Williams, host for our daily Money Movie, and I will discuss the programs you can look forward to seeing on Channel 56.
The station relied heavily on sports from the beginning, as it carried Boston Celtics games as well as hockey games from the Hartford Whalers. Celtics games later moved to the then NBC affiliate WBZ-TV4, but more on that later. By the 1970s, the Boston Globe had sold its share of the partnership to Kaiser, and on May 1, 1974, the call letters were changed from WKBG-TV to WLVI-TV. And yes, for anyone wondering, LVI is in fact 56 in Roman numerals. WLVI-TV was a typical independent carrying cartoons, sitcoms, reruns, and most notably, reruns of Star Trek, the original series, which was seen on its sister station in Detroit, San Francisco, and Philadelphia, among other places. By 1977, when a certain B-movie directed by that American graffiti guy came around, Channel 56 got a brand new money daddy. Field Communications, based out of Chicago, Illinois, bought 77% of the shares from Kaiser, thus making them the new owners of Channel 56. With a new owner comes a new commitment and a new attitude. Notably, the on-air logo that 56 was known for, the Kaiser-era 56, was gone, and replaced with a more future-funky 56 that will be associated with the station through the 90s. WLVI's shows at the time, notably besides Star Trek, were reruns of The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Sanford & Son, Three's Company, just to name a few. WLVI had heavy competition from its longtime rivals WSBK TV 38, and around the sale to Field, a new contender came along, WXNE TV, owned by the Christian Broadcasting Network. You might know them by a different set of call letters. By the 1980s, change was in the air again as Boston Television went through a growing pain, so to speak. WNAC Channel 7 went off the air for good, and in its place, WNEV-TV, a locally owned CBS affiliate. Chet Curtis and Natalie Jacobson became the king and queen of Boston TV news, and an African-American woman from Little Rock, Arkansas, would come to Boston to anchor the evening news alongside Jack Williams on WBZ-TV. Her name was Liz Walker. Over at WLVI's parent company, a rift between 2 brothers had caused Field Communications to go under. For WLVI-TV 56, a great eclipse was on the horizon. In 1983, WLVI was sold to Gannett, the publishers of USA Today, and thus being the only independent station on its portfolio. Gannett's other properties were ABC, NBC, and CBS affiliates, but WLVI was an anomaly for the company, and they made it work. One of Gannett's achievements was to launch a commercial primetime newscast. Viewers in Boston did have primetime news on WGBH-TV, but it was a public television station. However, by poaching veteran WCVB news anchor Jack Hines, WLVI was able to launch the News at 10 in April 1984. First with co-anchor Julie Embry, then later with Uma Pemiraju, Darlene McCarthy, and finally with Karen Marinella. The News at 10 was a traditional newscast built upon Gannett's reputation for journalism. In sports, as we mentioned before, WBZ-TV had the rights to the away games for the now champion Boston Celtics. Gannett used its muscle outside of 10 o'clock to get the rights back to the games now on 56. Nice move, Celtics. Channel 56 acquired more shows and cartoons such as The Real Ghostbusters, Cops, Gem, and Woody Woodpecker, just to name a few. And it was originally voiced by the late Dale Dorman, a local Boston DJ who hosted the afternoon cartoons under the Kids Parade banner.
The riddle was, what takes care of sheep in Germany? German shepherds take care of sheep in Germany. German shepherds. Okay, Tom and Jerry are coming up next as the Kids Parade continues right here on Channel 56.
Donna Marie was the voice of the 8 p.m. movie block, and Tom Evans was the grandfatherly voice of the station.
Susan Hayward stars in I Want to Live, tonight at 8 on Channel 56.
Well, we're glad you could join us this afternoon for our Sunday movie at 2.
They almost had the rights to the Huxtable Show, but WCVB outbid them. By the 1990s, however, we've seen pillars of changes. Shows like Three's Company, The Facts of Life, Fall Guy, What's Happening, and What's Happening Now joined the lineup. The station had seen better shows, like Out of This World was acquired from WCVB, Charles in Charge, and one-timers like TNT, The Gong Show, and so much more. By the late 80s, after the news at 10, a Cleveland comedian changed the late-night game. His name? Arsenio Hall. The 1990s, recession, the Gulf War, and so much was at stake. WLVI's glory days were pretty much waning. Sure, the station acquired new shows like Full House and Head of the Class. The WLVI Kids Club, now hosted by two local actors, Paul Wagner and Elizabeth Don, brought in shows such as the Daily Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the syndicated Merry Melodies, and the Steven Spielberg-produced Tiny Toon Adventures.
I could come up with better ideas than that.
Early Evenings had its own umbrella, known as Sitcom City, which consisted of shows like Growing Pains, Night Court, Perfect Strangers, Who's the Boss, and Charles in Charge. However, the economic recession of the early 1990s had prompted a change in television ownership. Future sister station WHGH-TV was acquired by Sunbeam Television, the owners of WSVN-TV in Miami, but that was in 1993. WLVI Channel 56 was sold to the Tribune Company out of Chicago for $25 million. Remember, the station was sold to Gannett in 1982 for $47 million, and which by 1994 would have been worth $72 million. Sadly, there were a lot of factors that came into play. Aside from the weekday offerings of Star Trek The Next Generation, WLVI-TV still had holdovers such as Growing Pains and Who's the Boss, alongside Full House. While WFXT acquired stronger programming such as Family Matters and Married with Children, also not helping was the departure of Ninja Turtles, in which the USA Network bought the exclusive rights for the 92-93 season and reruns alongside the CBS Saturday morning episodes. Also, Tiny Toon Adventures left syndication to air new and exclusive episodes for Fox Kids as well, so that meant WFXT picked up that show alongside Batman the Animated Series. In September 1989, the Boston Celtics themselves acquired WFXT from Rupert Murdoch, and by 1990 transformed the station into a strong contender even though it was behind TV 38, and then now christened TV 56. Also, the News at 10 was rechristened the 10 o'clock news after WGBH's newscast closed down in 1991. So what was the core reason for WLVI to be acquired by Tribune? In November of 1994, Warner Brothers announced that they were launching a new television network in partnership with Jamie Kellner and the Tribune. The network would consist of comedy one night a week and expand to 2 or 3 nights down the road. The network is the WB, and Channel 56 was the charter affiliate. From there, Tribune acquired more shows such as VR Troopers, The Fresh Prince, and more. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, things began to unravel. In early 2000, the station launched a morning newscast titled Boston's WB in the Morning, which ran for a few years. Also added to the mix, Clueless, Sister Sister, and The Nanny, while The Next Generation left the 7 p.m. block open. Amidst it all, WLVI had heavy competition from Fox 25 and UPN 38 in terms of the newscasts. By around the time NBC was looking to leave WHDH, and according to a rumor by the Herald, chose WLVI as the possible new NBC affiliate, this prompted Sunbeam Television to do something drastic. On September 15, 2006, Tribune Broadcasting announced that the station was being sold to Sunbeam Television, the parent company of then NBC affiliate WHDH-TV, for $117 million. A major return on investment, as they had a profit of $92 million. To the viewers of Boston television, it marked an end of an era. FCC laws, thanks to the Telecommunications Act of 1996, allow companies like Sunbeam to buy as many television stations as they like, as long as it doesn't exceed a 39% market share cap. For the late Ed Anson, that means he was able to expand the 7 News brand into primetime as it launched the 10 p.m. newscast on WLVI. But a loss is still a loss. The final newscast aired on December 18, 2006, 40 years after WKBG's first launch on the air.
Tonight marks a sad and even tragic chapter in Boston television history. We are all of us saddened and angered by this, especially those dedicated professionals, many of whom have worked here for over 20 years.
Hours, phone calls, you name it. Your support over the years has been absolutely incredible, and it has meant a lot, not just to me or Frank or Mike or Wonk, but the entire staff, knowing that you're all calling, our colleagues, friends, people we've worked with. Thank you for taking the time to recognize us and send out your best wishes to us. And again, I want to recognize this staff. These folks behind the cameras that we just showed you, we've known about this day for 3 months. And to say it hasn't been easy is an understatement. And yet each and every night they have come here, done their jobs, put this newscast on the air. I'm so proud. I have such admiration and respect for each and every one of them. And I feel honored to have worked with them for the past 18 years.
Channel 56 was a television station that was as influential as the others in the Boston area. From its presentation to its personalities to even its newscasts, it proved the slogan was true. LVI wasn't just part of living, it was part of New England history.
It's so hard to see. I've never seen an angel trying to believe, and I can't wait to crawl. I can't wait to crawl. I can't wait anymore. The news at 10 every night. The time is right. On 56. You found a home right here, growing up with 56.